seen anything like that.
Wide right.
Little roller up along first. Behind the bag. It gets through Buckner. Here comes Knight, and the Mets win it.
Oh, the band is out on the field. He's going to go into the end zone. He's going into the end zone. The Bears have won. The Bears have won. Oh, my God. You believe in miracles? Yes.
It's the Davey Mac Sports Program, where we talk to sports and other stuff. Like Irish people. Speaking of which, what position does a leprechaun play in baseball? Anyone? Oh. Shortstop. I get it? Do you understand, mein Führer? Das ist jetzt echt lustig. Wie lustig ist das denn? Das ist echt lustig. I'm the musical Führer, Roy Harder, and here's your host, Mr. Eastside David McDonald, everybody.
Thank you, Roy. Thank you, Roy Harder, the musical director. I'm not sure what all that German was at the end of your introduction today. March, as everyone knows, is Irish People's History Month.
Yes.
You know, you go, oh yeah, that just started. Okay. You go right from Black History Month in February to Irish People History Month. It's the entire month of March. And I was excited that now we've turned the calendar. We're into March. St. Patty's Day is March 17th.
That's right, David.
It's about 2 weeks away. Very excited for that. But now I'm thinking all of March should be a dedication to Irish people, you know?
Okay.
Now, having said that, Roy Harder of German heritage seems to disagree. What was those last few sentences you said?
I was just announcing how funny my joke was.
About a leprechaun would play shortstop in baseball.
Yeah,
I get that because they're small. All right, because they're short. Yeah. I got that part. Then you had a few phrases afterwards. That part.
Well, that might have just been, I was just, as we say, riffing, David. Riffing.
Okay.
I was riffing.
You're not watching Hitler's Inner Circle on Netflix again,
Wait,
are you?
Oh, that's so freaky, David. How the hell did you know this?
because you watch it once a month and it's 10 episodes long, and I'm starting to think it's invading your thoughts and coming out of your mouth. Or maybe I'm the one who's watching Hitler's Inner Circle, because I was just watching a whole thing on Goebbels. He was really fun. That was the guy that was a little bit nuts there. Yeah, well, I guess they were all pretty nuts and pretty bad.
Yeah, but he definitely crossed the line, He
was the good old fashioned cartoon character.
Yeah.
He looked like a Looney Tunes character with the big eyes and the skinny face and stuff. It's almost like how they drew. Do you remember when Looney Tunes would draw like a young Frank Sinatra? Every once in a while, Looney Tunes would have like a segment on celebrities.
Okay.
And you would see like a young Frank Sinatra, if this was like a Looney Tunes cartoon in like the 40s.
With the droopy eyes, I think.
Big, huge eyes, slick back, black hair.
Yeah,
thin, extremely thin. I'm like, is that Sinatra? Is that the chairman, or is that Goebbels? Yeah, there it is. I can't tell if that's the chairman or the board or Goebbels, but the minister of propaganda. But regardless, it is Irish People's Heritage Month. It is the month of March, so congratulations to all my fellow Micks out there, all my potato-eating, Guinness-drinking Micks from across the pond. Congratulations there. But listen, it's the Davey Mac Sports Program on a March 2nd, 2026. Roy Harder, Bobby Tamburo, myself, Eastside Dave McDonald. We're going to get into the nitty and gritty here.
Yeah.
Because we got some things to mention here, folks. And I also know that there was an incident at Roy Harder's Torpedo gig. That's the rock and roll band that Roy is in. He's in two bands with Sean O'Barry.
Yeah, yeah.
But this
Three
band
or
is
four,
the instrumental rock and roll band. Very, very few, if not very little vocals, right, Roy?
No vocals. Yeah, this is pure
No
instrumental.
vocals.
Yeah, post rock. We do very obscure, surfy, jazzy covers. It's a little heady, artsy kind of stuff.
Now,
They
you
did
know
the
what?
Peanuts one time. It was awesome.
Let's get into it. Actually, now that I think about it,
Yeah.
you said that there were police cars.
Dave, not just
called.
police.
Now,
Yeah.
the question number one is.
Yeah.
Was Anthony Cumia slapping people around?
Anthony was not at this gig, David. He was not.
Are you sure?
He was not. Now,
Because
David.
I saw some clips over the weekend. I was laughing, by the way. This isn't a judgment. I was just like, what? Things never change. I think I saw Stevie Lou in the clip. I'm like, nothing has changed. Like, years and years will go by, and it's just the same old stuff. People are going to provoke one another. People are going to be absolutely miserable, the worst human beings, and then people are going to get slapped around. Everything comes under the guise of, I'm joking, but it's not a joke. It's all very, very serious trolling that you would never say to someone. And then, of course, you get slapped around. And honestly, the guy that got slapped around is a total douchebag for calling the police, in my personal opinion. That's me weighing in on it. But anyway, Roy, so this is a separate incident.
Completely separate incident.
Okay, go ahead.
It was the next day. This was actually last night. So this is a very family-friendly venue out in Suffolk, Long Island. It's called U.S.A. Wonderful place, great staff, an owner. They take great care of us. And never been a problem. There's always like 30 or 40 little kids, like 6 to 10, running around. People come with their families. So it's a very family-oriented place. And all of a sudden, we're about 50 minutes into the first set, and we start hearing all hell break loose at the bar. It's a pretty big bar.
The Tom
But
Waits
not
song?
not just a little bit of commotion and two people going at it. It was like something out of the Blues Brothers where the whole fucking venue starts... goes up in like chairs, the old people, young people.
You guys should have broken into Rawhide. That
Well,
would have been
actually,
the coolest thing of all time.
It turns out that Torpedo actually has a song in place for when these things happen. We usually break into we have a thing where we break into Link Ray's Rumble, which is a really good fighting song, right? And but this time, because there were so many kids involved and old people and the whole thing, we basically said, guys, let's just chill out for a minute. So before you know it, this thing did not stop, David. Normally a fight, they take, and then it goes outside and it's finished, right? No. This thing went on for a solid 20 minutes. At one point, the police, there was like 7 cop cars outside. Two women were arrested. There was an ambulance. There was a couple of people taken away. One woman came in holding another woman's a handful of her hair and said, "Here's your hair back, bitch." And she threw it at the.
God.
There were little kids. They were absolutely hysterical, crying. That were being like, I don't know. It was like a birthday party, and they were sending these poor kids outside. Turns out, the whole thing started because of 2 little kids, 2 like 6 and 10-year-old kids. Really young. I don't know. I think one of them might have been a liberal, and the other one may have been a bit MAGA, and he set the whole thing off. But it was nuts, David.
Now this is incredible. So in other words, 2 kids got into like some sort of little argument, but then the parents freaked out, and especially the moms.
The moms, yes. The dads were just kind of like in each other's faces, like huffing and puffing. But the moms went for blood. And then the grandparents got involved on both sides. And it was like, it was like, I didn't videotape it.
What's the matter with you people in Long Island? Listen, everyone thinks that New Jersey, we're the dirtbag state. And I tell people, folks, you don't know Long Island.
Yeah, this was a shock to me, David. And listen, I played my fair share. I played behind chicken wire. I've seen some shit in my gigs, but this time, this was like next level. Everyone in the band was like, we were all just floored. I thought if someone pulled out a gun, me and Sean were trying to figure out, all right, listen, if somebody pulls out a gun here, we're going to duck behind this piano because we know there's a metal soundboard in it, so we're going to be safe. But we were like a little bit, because it didn't stop.
Sean
it just
knows
kept
fine.
going.
Sean
Yeah.
O, as the drummer, that's where you angle your cymbals and hi-hat like as shields, as like Captain America shields in case there's anything. But yeah, Roy Harder, the dopey little keyboardist, you're exposed, pal.
Dude, I'm a target, man. I'm a target. You know, if someone sees me, they're gonna be like, if they want to get in on this, I'm grabbing the keyboard player. I think I could take him.
Yeah, no question. I mean, with all due respect, I mean, you have the German heritage, but you know, similar to Goebbels, you're very slight. You're a slight person.
That's right. That's why I pack heat, David. Oh shit! I should. Sorry.
I wouldn't mention
figure
that
of speech.
on the
Figure of speech. Yeah.
So just Long Island people getting into fights all weekend, and people have the audacity to say that New Jersey is the armpit of America. And
I only said that once, David.
I'm like, you people have no idea. I saw some comedian, Robert. Do you know the name Jeff Dye or something Dye?
Yeah, Jeff Cry is what they're calling him lately.
Well, don't get distracted. Do you know Jeff Dye?
I do know of Jeff Dye. Yes, that's.
Okay. This son of a bitch takes a picture of New Jersey and goes, "Who would have thought? Like New Jersey is a beautiful state." And I'm like, all of us from the state of New Jersey. You assholes who are not from New Jersey, you judge us based on Newark Airport. And I'm going to be honest, exits 13 through 16 on the New Jersey Turnpike literally stink like shit.
Yeah.
When I mean stink, I mean physically they stink. As I've explained many a time, that's not the state of New Jersey. The idiots in New York City put their garbage dump right on the south end of the island of Manhattan. And as a result, anytime there's strong winds that go to the west, all of that garbage wafts over and you're smelling New York City garbage. But of course, it's in the New Jersey. It's on the turnpike, 13 through 16. But because of that, people think, oh, the whole state stinks. It's ugly. It's this and that. We got beaches. We got mountains. We got gorgeous parks. The Six Flags Great Adventure is the second biggest in terms of land amusement park in the United States of America, only behind Disney World. We got all kinds of great stuff in New Jersey and plenty of beauty.
Yeah.
And yet we get all these morons, Jeff Dye, who comes out. Who would have thought New Jersey's beautiful? I would have thought, Jeff. And you know what, Jeff? I don't know who you are. But listen to your last name and die already. Now tell me about why he's being called Jeff Cry, Robert.
I mean, thankfully for the YouTube terms of service, his name is spelled D-Y-E, so you just meant go tie-dye.
That's right.
No, he did some grift where he was like, I need to get out of California with all these woke people. Buy me a house in Austin, and started a GoFundMe, and then like got on 5 minutes later and admitted it was all a fake grift. And he's just making poor decision after poor decision.
Well, I don't care for his, oh, shocking. I'm surprised New Jersey could be beautiful. You piece of shit.
Also,
by the way,
hacking.
let me just say this real quick. You couldn't be a bigger hack if you're like, New Jersey, it stinks. It's ugly, or it's blah, 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 blah. New Jersey's a garbage dump. New Jersey's none of those things. That's right. New Jersey's been penalized because of New York City garbage smells that waft over the Hudson River whenever the winds go east to west. Don't blame us for the goddamn trash heap, which is Manhattan.
It is a good metaphor, though, because that's where the trash of New York City ends up drifting to those same exits.
And then, no, the trash goes apparently to Long Island because they're fighting at a kid's party in a matinee rock and roll show where people should be minding their P's and Q's, being on their best business and best behavior, and everyone's fighting each other.
Oh, my gosh.
And I mean, when I think of it, and you got Joey Buttafuoco shooting people in the face, and you got
That was Amy Fisher, David, not Joey.
Fisher. Yeah. You got the Long Island Lolita, Amy Fisher, shooting Mary Jo Buttafuoco 8 times in the face. How did that bitch survive?
How the hell did you recall that, dude? That was a blast from the past, David.
And remember Mary Jo Buttafuoco, after she survived, though, she was like Clint Eastwood. She was like, "Hi, I'm Mary Jo Buttafuoco.
Yeah,
I was shot in the face 9 times by Amy Fisher, and now I can't open my mouth. But I got a, Clint Eastwood vibe now. Like, you feel lucky, punk? Oh,
I think
make my day. Make my day, Amy Fisher."
I think Amy Fisher actually, she altered her face as well because she got tired of being recognized as the Long Island Lolita. So she got some plastic surgery and changed her whole look. I don't think you recognize her today.
So the way she tried to get around the Lolita label was trying to make herself look younger through plastic surgery. I don't know if that's going to work.
Or just changing her appearance so that people don't bother her anymore.
I wonder if she's still on Long Island. She may have moved.
Yeah. Well, let's invite her to the Davey Mac Sports Program.
She'd make a great guest.
For a full-on interview. And now we have Amy Fisher. You would remember her for shooting Mary Jo Buttafuoco in the face. Like, what a weird guest that would be. All right, listen.
Wait, can I ask Roy one question that's been bothering me this whole time?
Yes.
I've seen Torpedo. Dave, have you had the privilege of getting to see Torpedo, or have you just seen?
I've seen the other band, the Pearl Jam cover band that he and Sean O are in, PJNY, and it's fantastic.
Thank you.
And 3 very talented musicians in Torpedo, and clearly have the foresight to think ahead. Just when I think of bands that might have to deal with a mosh pit breaking out, Torpedo wouldn't be at the top of that list for me. How were you guys so insightful? Do you just know that Long Island's filled with people who are probably going to fight after a few beers? So you're like, we got to have this up our sleeve.
We just had it in the bag, ready to go. But honestly,
you gotta do that.
Yeah, you're gonna. It's just because normally it gets ushered out and everyone has a laugh, but this time it was just like I was like, guys, let's stop.
Consummate professionalism.
Yeah. And then the cops came in and we were all set to play Cop Killer by Ice-T. and I nixed that one as well. So
I'm glad Oh shit! There he goes.
I'm here, buddy.
What is it? And we can hear you. This is the first time because you actually do that once an episode now. But this is the first time that you didn't knock yourself offline and we can hear your microphone. Wow, you're getting better at screwing your own broadcast up. Now, Roy, Robert,
yes, sir.
ESPN is just I've had it. I've had it.
What happened, buddy?
Kevin Durant and Stephen A. Smith are screaming about racism, and they couldn't be more wrong. Don't take my word for it, by the way. Take another African-American, take his word for it, Jay Williams. We'll get to all of the quotes. Kevin Durant was talking about AAU because if you don't know, Roy, AAU is it's not like high school. It's not grammar school. It's organized basketball for teenagers specifically.
Okay.
And it's gotten highly competitive to the point where, a lot of colleges and even NBA scouting departments have to be looking at AAU basketball.
Okay, so it's like a minor league sort of thing.
Sort of. But it has been under criticism in the past because these AAU teams can almost get to a miniature professional level where they'll travel, where they raise thousands of dollars so that their AAU team can basically go on a road trip like a mini NBA team and play other teams from all over the country. And there's been some criticism. Specifically, who criticized AAU years ago?
Who's that?
Kobe Bryant.
Okay.
Because Kobe says you're making these kids into pros when really what's best for them would be not just playing basketball, but playing other sports. Because there's a correlation in, you're a soccer player, you're a football player, and a basketball player. You oftentimes can use those skills from other sports to help you improve your basketball game.
Of course. Makes
so
perfect
Kobe's
sense.
thing was, I'm not sure we should be doing this. But for whatever reason, here's Kevin Durant's bizarre quote.
Okay.
Quote, Kevin Durant, all I hear is AAU is destroying the game. The Euros do it right while the Americans do it wrong. It's a lot of bullshit with that. I can read between the lines on that. It's a shot at black Americans. We're controlling the sport. They're tired of us controlling the sport. France is coming for you. Really? We smacked them boys. Close quote. Now, recently, these comments were said around the All-Star game. Okay. Recently, as I mentioned, we separated the All-Star game into 3 teams: USA Stripes, USA Stars, and then the international team, the world team.
Gotcha.
Okay? And so as a result, people are talking about international basketball versus American basketball. Okay. Stephen A. Smith then says, quote, "Ladies and gentlemen, I'm here to tell you I'm 10 toes down on this with Kevin Durant. He's 1,000% right. And we can sit up there and we can talk about it any way we want to. But what we're not going to do is not going to run from the subject matter. Kevin Durant is absolutely right." Close quote. Now, Kevin Durant is right about what? Exactly. He's right about so Kevin Durant is equating criticism for AAU basketball team and AAU basketball system in general. He's equating that with a shot at African Americans. I don't see the correlation at all. Specifically because we just talked about Kobe Bryant, who was critical of AAU, because he's basically saying you're turning these kids into little pros, and that's not good for them. That's not good for these kids to be turned into little pros. So
should be more critical of helicopters.
Right. Yeah. Here's what ESPN NBA analyst, college analyst, former Duke star. He was a highly touted draft pick in the NBA, but unfortunately his career didn't last long because he got into a motorcycle accident. But that's Jay Williams. Okay. And he says, quote, about this Durant thing, quote, "It felt a little bit like a racist victimhood mentality, frankly, because critiquing a development system is not critiquing a race. And we're talking about development systems for Americans. It is weird," close quote. So that's Jay Williams. Okay. Now, here's the bottom line. That's bizarre that Kevin Durant nor Stephen A. Smith understood that Cooper Flagg, for instance, the white kid from the Dallas Mavericks, he played in AAU basketball. Okay. Furthermore, when people are talking about European players and international players, they're not just talking about white guys. Quite frankly, Kevin Durant and Stephen A. Smith, you small-minded doofuses. Because the last time I checked, let's go through it. The international team, the team world this year in the All-Star game. Let's name some players. Last year's NBA MVP, Shai Gilgeous-Alexander, SGA. He came from Canada. The guy who's making huge waves this year, stepping his game up, MVP candidate, Victor Wembanyama. He's from France. Ooh. Giannis Antetokounmpo, former MVP, NBA champion from Greece. Jamal Murray, NBA All-Star, Canada. Pascal Siakam, you know me, as a Knicks fan, when he was on the Pacers, I'm like, that guy scares me more than Tyrese Halliburton. That guy chews teams up and spits them out.
Impact.
Well, Pascal Siakam is from Cameroon. And then even if you want to go from a guy who was born in New Jersey, but still they chalked him up into the international team, that's Karl Anthony Towns, Dominican Republic. Look, if you don't want to choose Cat, that's fine. But Wembanyama, SGA, Giannis, Jamal Murray, Pascal Siakam, you know what they all have in common? Not one of them is a white guy. So, hey, you bigoted buffoons, Stephen A. and Kevin Durant, you idiots just told on yourselves. You just equated international basketball players with white people. When the more you look at it, most international basketball players are black. You have Luka and Joker. Those are the prominent white guys from international countries. That's it. Luka and Joker. SGA, Wemby, Giannis, Murray, Siakam. All black dudes. So what are we talking about here? What the hell are we talking about? This is why Jay Williams, I give you credit, all the credit in the world. It's so easy to be caught up in this narrow-minded victimhood mentality. It's easy. It takes a little balls, a little guts to go, BS, I'm calling you out.
Damn
Because
right.
the bottom line is, most of these international players are black guys. I want to know when we're going to get into the next phase of American society, of Western society, of global society, where we stop acting like a bunch of crybaby bitches. And that's everybody. That's white, black, male, female, gay, straight. That's everybody. I'm not picking on one. I'm picking on everyone.
Yeah.
When are we gonna evolve? When are people gonna demand the next phase of society where we stop acting like whiny, crying cunts? Because that's all we've been lately. For years now. For about 10 years. It's just, I'm a victim. I'm a victim. You mean that offends me. This offense, shut the fuck up. And I'm not a Democrat and I'm not a Republican. So you can miss me with any of your political bullshit.
Yeah.
I'm a registered independent, in case you didn't know. I re-registered to vote so that I could click on I unclaim political party. And the reason why is because every politician makes me fucking sick. But somehow politicians used to be the pieces of shit who could only think like that. The fact that it's gone into just every day, regular, average Joes with, I'm quiet. This offends me, man. They're mean to me. Kevin Durant, are you fucking kidding me? The privileged life that a superstar athlete makes, besides the hundreds of millions of dollars, you're pampered in every way, shape, or form. You're catered to. You have teams upon teams of people that look out after you for everything that you do. And you're still bitching and moaning, and you're doing so in an inaccurate fashion. You just straight up lied, Durant. It's a shot at black people. Well, the last time I checked, Wemby's black. Giannis is black. Siakam is black. SGA is black. So for some reason, those stingers sort of
seemed bad.
Yeah, they felt.
The plot thickens.
But the point being, it's crazy.
And Luka, the white guy, came up in a pro system, which is as close as you can get to the AAU treatment. It literally is the opposite of his argument.
It doesn't make sense. No one thinks before they speak anymore. They just immediately reach to, I'm a victim. Well, I'll tell you what. The people who are like, I'm a victim in 2026, I just call you a bitch.
Oh.
And that's not anything. That's anyone. Regardless of race, gender, sexual orientation, etc. Just roll up your sleeves and accomplish something. No one's been fucking treated more unfairly than me.
Oh, buddy, you better get ready for a whole influx of tweets coming from Kevin Durant's burner accounts. If he's known for anything, it's for engaging anyone and everyone who talks about him on the internet, just not through his main Twitter account. It'll be
Kevin Durant might be the most thin-skinned, insecure megastar athlete of all time.
Wow, I was gonna go for the other one. What's his name?
Joe DiMaggio.
LeBron.
Oh, LeBron James. LeBron's insecure too.
Yeah.
He's definitely thin-skinned. You know? But, oh my goodness gracious. It's amazing that ESPN continues to do this. And they can't stop. They're addicted to it. And you know what, ESPN? It's costing you. Fortune magazine says since 2013, ESPN has lost an audience of 25 million people.
Ooh.
Fortune reports that last year alone, ESPN and Disney lost $110 million just for the YouTube blackout that lasted only 15 days.
Yeah.
Variety reports that ESPN in the past 2 years has lost an audience, a TV audience of 31% of its viewership.
Ouch.
Folks, these are catastrophically bad numbers.
Even by our metric.
Does anyone care? Does anyone, does Disney just go, despite proof that no one at all comes to us at Disney, whether it's Star Wars, Marvel, Pixar, ESPN, nobody comes to us to be sermonized to. They come to us to escape. They come to us for entertainment, bread and circuses, and we're the circus portion of this. Mm-hmm. And yet they won't stop doing it. It's unbelievable.
Well, David, at some point they will have to stop, because if the numbers that you're saying are true, that's going to show up on some bean counter's line. He's going to say, hey, what's going on here?
Yeah. It's already costing them. The reason why we see Dan Orlovsky and Mina Kimes and Ryan Clark on ESPN 18 hours a day is because they had to lay off 500 people in the last 2 years. You know why they're laying people off? They're losing money. They're going in the toilet. You know why they're going in the toilet? Because of bullshit like this. Suck it. Suck it. Robert, what were you going to say?
I was going to say the issue Roy has with when it gets to the bean counters, it's to the point where the person who's in charge of counting the beans cares more about letting the people in charge, because they represent XYZ representation group, do what they want rather than save the company money. Like, there's no one left to be the safety check. They're all gone. Like, those people were replaced by people who care more about the optics than the metrics.
The fact that it would even be mildly controversial to just suggest to Disney, can you just get off your soapbox and stop being political? Can you just try to give people escapism for a little bit? This isn't a controversial thought. This is something that Disney should actually be trying to do, recognizing their place in society. We are over inundated with politics on every level that some of us just need a little time out. And that's when we go to our sports, our comic book movie, our sci-fi franchise. And yet when we turn on our sports or our comic book movie or our sci-fi franchise, we just get these stupid contemporary issues reinforced. And now it's officially killing ESPN's bottom line. Those aren't my stats, Roy. Yeah. Those come from Fortune and Variety, two very trusted publications.
Well, listen, David, those are public companies. So at some point, the public are going to be like, I'm getting off this ship. It's not making me any money. I'm taking my money elsewhere. And that's ultimately
exactly what's happening.
And that's what it takes for giant ships like this to course correct. It takes a little bit of time. They have to weed out all the bad apples and just steer the ship back. I think Bob Iger, head of Disney, I think there's something going on with his mind. He's listening to the wrong people, to be honest.
Yeah, he's lost it. 15 years ago, he was a different man.
Yeah,
Something's
I agree.
gone on with him. The other thing is that, hey, who's been screaming how much of a dog shit application the ESPN app is? I've been screaming about that for years. And now everyone's like, why is the ESPN app so terrible? I go, because they don't care. It's been garbage since day one, ladies and gentlemen. And I've been telling you it's garbage. But now you're getting everyone going, I went on the ESPN app. First of all, ESPN straight up lied to everybody. I had the ESPN app. I'm a WWE fan.
Yeah.
We were told that, if you pay for the ESPN app and you already pay for the ESPN cable television channel, you don't need to give us more money to get access to the WWE pay-per-views, which happen once a month, right?
Right.
Bullshit. I went from having to go $9.99 on Peacock to get my monthly WWE pay-per-view that me and my son Stanley Mac watch. I went from $9.99 to $37. That's the minimum you have to pay if you want the WWE.
Wow.
And I'm already an ESPN app subscriber, and I already have the ESPN cable channel on TV.
What? Come on.
And I have to fork over another $37 for this stupid app to watch a WWE pay-per-view once a month because, my son and I love the WWE.
Man, that's nuts, David.
And you have a hit podcast about it, so can you at least write
And we got
a
it.
business expense?
We have a hit podcast, the Eastside David Son Wrestling Show.
No.
This is embarrassing, man. And ESPN wants to pretend. And by the way, ESPN, I'm going to let you in on a secret, brother. Peacock is mopping the floor with you. Peacock is $9.99. They got football. Now, they got basketball. Now, they got baseball. And it's $9.99.
They had the Olympics.
And they got the Olympics. And NBC's going to have the Olympics forever. And that's both Olympics and summer. So, seriously, and it's $9.99 still for Peacock.
So, and do you remember
I can watch all my sports and the Olympics on Peacock. The only reason why I'm doing the ESPN at this point is because of the WWE. And those absolute hucksters said, well, and by the way, they did say, before they made the deal with WWE, they said, listen, if you're already an ESPN app subscriber and you have the ESPN channel, you won't have to pay any additional dollars for ESPN Select or whatever it is. They've got 8 tiers of the ESPN app or ESPN Unlimited. I forget what it's called.
No, those are both options, actually. You nailed it because there's 72 different versions.
Wow.
I hate ESPN so much. It's not even funny. Actual hatred.
And just with the Peacock, do you remember how bad it was when it first came out? And everybody was like, oh, this is terrible. And within a year and a half, it's amazing. Right? It's back. It's good. It's literally the best option out there.
Peacock is on fire. Peacock is doing laps around ESPN. The worst decision that inside the NBA, Ernie Johnson and Charles Barkley and Kenny Smith and Shaq, the worst thing they did was go to ESPN. They should have went to Peacock. Because the only thing that I'm not crazy about is either the Peacock or Amazon Prime NBA studio shows. The reason why is because they got a lot of soft-spoken guys. They got a lot of soft-spoken, monotone guys who don't bring any fire or entertainment value. And inside the NBA, you got Chuck, you got Shaq, all that stuff. They should have went over to Peacock. I feel terrible for inside the NBA because that shows it's not the same since it went to ESPN. Like everything else, ESPN gets unbelievable franchises, and they suck the soul right out of them.
They just have a lot more, colorful characters. I don't mean that like it came out, David.
No. But the other thing I wonder about Peacock, Dave, is if literally their anchors were told exactly what you've been preaching, which is no politics, none of that other garbage. You keep it strictly to the sports, so that way it doesn't become ESPN. Like, I know it's monotone and there isn't a ton of color commentary, but I almost wonder if they were told just keep it between the lines.
It's so simple. If you do that, people are going to enjoy watching you. But the second you're sermonized to, 50% of the people are going to be pissed. Doesn't matter what side you're on.
That's right.
The second you go into the politics, 50% of the people are going to be like, F you.
That's right.
Do you remember?
That's why this show has a nice balance of, liberals and Nazi. We cross, we ride down the middle, David.
Our show, Davey Mac Sports Program, since day one, and we're going back to 2011, 15 years. Wow. Yeah, we took a little break for a fever dream called the E.S.A. Dave Show in between. But we're going to chalk it up to 15 years.
Sure.
And the bottom line is, from day one, we've covered not just sports, but sports media. Yeah. And we've covered the people who are doing a good job. We've covered the people who are doing a bad job. And I can't tell you how much of a disaster ESPN is these days. And the problem with them is they still think they're 1997 ESPN. They're the lords of the castle. They're the worldwide leader in sports. That their shit don't stink. And you know what? There's a lot of other options, ESPN, and people are discovering those options. And you're going to be left in the dust. And according to Variety and Forbes, you're losing money and you're losing millions of dollars and millions of viewers every year.
Yeah.
You might want to change your strategy there, friend.
I remember when CNN was the most trusted news network. Look at them now. It's terrible.
Exactly. Same thing happened.
I was watching an ESPN Classic clip where they showed that they had a game they played once where it was just stadium sounds. Like, they had all the paneling up so you could see the score and everything, but literally no commentary. You could just hear the sounds of the players and from the stadium. And it failed at the time because people thought it was so weird without the broadcast because they were coming from radio. But I think in this day and age, if a company bought the rights to air just that, it would do triple the numbers. Because, yeah, McAfee was entertaining once. Now everybody's so sick of him because his face is on everything. It's the same shtick. You know what I mean? Like, I think people would tune in. When you never hear somebody being like, this broadcaster is amazing. When you look on Twitter, all you ever see is this broadcaster's ruining the game. This broadcaster's terrible. So give us the option to listen to just the noise. I know I'd enjoy that more.
That's fine. Yeah, I'd be okay with that. I got no issues with that. But the one thing they could do is just, cover sports.
Yeah.
Like, get back to X's and O's. Get back to, this team's not playing good offense. Well, this team's not playing good defense. Whatever.
Yeah. David, one question that we didn't really get into was, why did he say the AAU league was bad for black people? I mean, what was the reasoning behind it?
It's a legitimate, nonsensical, insane point. This is what I'm saying. He attributed, simply criticism of AAU basketball about criticism of black people, forgetting the millions of white kids who play in AAU basketball, by the way, of which I was one of them.
Yeah.
I played AAU basketball for the Jersey Shore Waves. We traveled. We went to North New Jersey. We went to Long Island, in fact. We went to Pennsylvania. We didn't travel to California or Florida, but we were certainly traveling in the New York, New Jersey, Pennsylvania, tri-state areas. Okay. So we played basketball. And in fact, we also played in Connecticut. I was part of AAU. Brian Lynch was on the team. He was a guy who went to Villanova, then played European basketball professionally, and married tennis star Kim Clijsters, right? He was one of my teammates. Okay. Nice. I played AAU.
I did too.
Really?
It's crazy. It's crazy that now they're thinking that every single basketball player in America is African American when there's plenty of white kids. I mean, look at Cooper Flagg.
He wouldn't have made it to the NBA if it wasn't for AAU. Nobody was going to see Cooper Flagg playing up in Maine. He had to go to an AAU team to get on the national scale. What it boils down to, Roy, is they like to play isolation. It's very one-on-one in AAU. I get the ball, you try to guard me, I drive to the hoop. What people say is they want to see passing and systems put into place so that people learn the game of basketball.
Yeah.
Durant
and also,
Stephen A. Smith assuming the only people who play isolation basketball are black. I don't know. You ever hear Jason Williams?
All right. Also, the NBA people have said, hold on. Playing multiple sports is good for your basketball career. If you play soccer or you play football, you learn certain things. You learn different footwork. You learn different, like boxing out even techniques that you can then incorporate into basketball. It helps you be an even better basketball player if you're doing other sports. You're a more well-rounded athlete. Sure, and when you're only, it's the same thing with travel baseball, by the way. Like it's the same thing. I disagree with these teenagers and their parents making their kids into basically mini professional baseball players where all they do is play baseball 24/7, 365. Because if that kid, doesn't make the major leagues, all of a sudden he feels like the biggest failure.
Yeah.
Go out and play soccer, play basketball. You'll find that it actually helps your baseball career. You can do certain things on the baseball diamond and you might not otherwise been able to do because you're learning different athletic skills in other sports. So I think the concentration of basically the criticism from me, from other people is year-round sports for a 14-year-old, whether it's basketball, whether it's baseball. They don't do it in football because the kids would be dead. But you get it in basketball, you get it in baseball in a big, big way in America. You get it in soccer in other countries, and to a certain extent, America. Tennis has always had it, but that's an individual sport. It's difficult to compare tennis. We're talking the team sports.
Yeah.
But certainly basketball and baseball, you got a lot of kids, a lot of teenagers playing it all year round. It's probably not the healthiest thing for them. Criticism of these things is absolutely legitimate. To say, hey, I'm not sure if it's good for the mental development, for the social development of a 14-year-old that you've made him into a mini Derek Jeter and he's got to travel all over the United States of America to play baseball. That might not be good for the kid's development as a young man, as a human.
Right.
That's all this criticism about AAU basketball and travel baseball and travel soccer is. There's no racial component to this. What the?
No. And it's crazy. You could play all sports all year. You know what I mean? Like, you don't have to just commit to one sport. Like, I know the AAU team I played on, if you weren't playing multiple sports, you weren't allowed to be on the team. Like, and whatever season you were in took precedent because exactly like you said, not only just learning the skills, but like developing ligaments in other ways. If you're only pitching, your arm only learns that motion. If you're shooting, all that stuff. So
there you go.
But AAU is huge. I don't know about you, Dave. I didn't get the looks in high school from my high school team. It was a chance for me to showcase my abilities outside of that. Like if you had a coach who was political, I mean, I'm 5'6" on a good day. So I wasn't.
That's why I'm smiling.
But no, seriously, the point being,
where were you going to go? You think you're going to be some kind of Steve Nash type of? All right, listen, Robin, Roy, I like to do something fun now, and something fun means. Speaking of AAU basketball, watching a teenage basketball player ruin his life.
Oh, right.
His life and his teammates' lives. Because this popped up. It went viral. Mm-hmm. It was some high school basketball game, I think, a tournament. And as you could see there, the team in white is up 70-68 with only 1.2 seconds left. The kid
Yeah.
on the free throw line has one shot. Now, I have stated here on the Davey Mac Sports Program, I'm a winner, and I never believe in missing a shot on purpose. Never. To me, these coaches outthink themselves. Brothers, make the shot. If some kid makes a miracle three, you go into overtime then. But you don't lose. Watch what happens here, Roy.
Okay.
As the kid is going to miss a shot. And then you're going to see the most boneheaded
At the line for
play.
second. Throws it off the rim. Corey Johnson. Unbelievable. Unbelievable. The foul is called on the full court shot.
Pause it for a second. The kid misses the free throw and fouls the kid who got the rebound from the yellow team and was attempting a literal full court shot. I mean, an 80%, court shot.
Hail Mary, if you will.
The chances were slim and none.
Yeah.
Don't know. And people are like, the ref can't make the call. No, you know what can't happen? The idiotic free throw shooter. I'm sorry to call this teenage kid an idiot, but I'm sorry, young man. You don't run aggressively at the shooter who's attempting a shot which has a 1 in 10 million chances of making it. You don't run up to him aggressively and try to block the shot or whatever the kid was doing, bro. That is horrible. That is a non-thinking, stupid play. This kid probably plays AAU basketball only. He's probably just because he just wasn't thinking out there.
Yeah.
So then the kid in yellow with 0.1 seconds left hits all 3 free throws. His team goes up by 1 point.
And it's good.
Yeah, can you put it on mute? His team goes up by 1 point. There's 0.1 seconds left.
Well,
they don't have enough time. You only have enough time in that situation for a tip in. That's not going to work. No. Ball goes out of bounds. Game over. The team in white loses
due to that kid's foul.
Look. I'll give the kid who missed the shot on purpose and committed the foul, I'll give him a little break because he wouldn't have been in that position if the stupid-ass coach didn't tell him to miss the shot on purpose. That goes down to these dopey coaches outthinking themselves.
You think he told him to miss the shot on purpose, David?
Oh, yeah. Yes, he did. He literally chucked it with 2 hands with no intent. The reason why, Roy, is because if he makes the shot, it is slightly easier for the other team. They can take the ball out of bounds, and if they have timeouts, they can actually advance the ball to half court and then just try to inbound it, quick desperation 3. But the point is, even in that scenario, you're talking about teenagers.
Yeah.
Let the other team call the timeout and advance it. And there's only 1.2 seconds left. They have to get the ball inbounds. Even if the kid's taking a 3, he ain't going to make that. It's a 98% chance the kid's not going to hit that 3 with only 1.2 seconds left on the clock. And if he does make it, well, you were up 3. The game's now tied. You're going into overtime. You still have a chance to win. This missing free throws on purpose when you're only up by 2 points, that's for the birds. And even if the team was up 3 points, I would say the same thing. Winners win. Always make your shots. I don't care.
Yeah, unless you're down 2, in which case then you're playing to win.
Yeah, if you're exactly. If you're down 2, you would have to miss the free throw, hopefully get the rebound, and then make the shot. That's a totally different scenario. This team was up by 2. Make the free throw, kid. But you know what? That's not on the kid. That is on. No, he definitely was missing it on purpose, Roy, and that comes from the coach.
Okay.
And I've seen this. Forget about high school. I see it in March Madness all the time. I see these coaches outthinking themselves and having these young players miss shots that if you make it, you're at least guaranteed overtime. Should the other team make a miracle shot? Man, this ain't hard.
Mm-hmm.
I'm bothered, Roy.
I could tell, David.
I'm bothered by you and Sean O and Torpedo apparently getting into some sort of Guns N' Roses, St. Louis.
Yeah.
Roy's a prima donna and he's going to leave after 45 minutes and that causes a riot and people start throwing chairs.
Dude, in the middle of the fight, the owner of because we stopped playing, in the middle, the owner comes up to me and goes, "Why'd you guys stop playing?" So we started up again while the cops are showing up, arresting people.
That's phenomenal.
We're
That's
just doing our thing.
Now you're like the Doors, 1968 Miami.
Yeah. He came out. Why? Come on, guys, keep going. What's going on? Where's the music?
Or the Doors in New Haven, Connecticut.
Yeah.
When Jim Morrison was, when he got maced.
Yeah.
And he's like, yeah, you never know what happened to me. I was in the bathroom doing a thing with a girl that a guy likes to do. And all of a sudden, this little blue man in this little blue hat, he started pushing me around. Yeah. So I pushed him back. Yeah. Then he took out a can of mace. He sprayed it in my eyes. You fucking blinded me. You should definitely do a Doors cover band. You should make me the lead singer.
We got
and once a show, we're going to reenact the New Haven, Connecticut arrest and the Miami arrest, which did include Jim Morrison taking his penis out.
Allegedly, there's never been proof or any photos that actually show his penis being taken out, David. I don't know if you knew that.
The Oliver Stone movie portrayed it as he put his hand through his fly.
That's right. Yes.
And pretended that was the penis. So if people thought he did, it was actually his hand. I don't know. Oliver Stone. And I love Oliver Stone, but you know, he's that's a crazy person for you.
I like of the two, he's the crazy person.
He's like the Stephen A. Smith of
of directors.
Yeah.
The Knicks crushed the Spurs yesterday, 114-89. Is they're 14-4 in their last 18 games, still in third place behind the Celtics and Pistons. Very weird. The Knicks can beat good teams. They have been killing the Spurs this year. They can't beat the Pistons. And that's the biggest concern for me, being that the Pistons are the number one team in the Eastern Conference. So I don't know what's going to happen there. Draymond Green, did you see what he said?
No. I can't wait to hear this.
Oh, my lordy.
He's usually so well-spoken.
Draymond Green says that people aren't being fair to Nico Harrison. The former Dallas Mavericks general manager who traded Luka. And basically he's saying, look, you know how people are criticizing Luka now. People owe Nico Harrison an apology. Draymond, I know you have a reputation of being a crazy person, but this is actually even a little too insane for you. You don't. Yes, it's great that they got Cooper Flagg. Maybe they could have had Luka and Cooper Flagg on the same team. The point being, the NBA fixed it so that the Dallas Mavericks would get the number one draft pick, because if they didn't, Nico Harrison would have killed basketball in the city of Dallas, Texas.
Oh, wow.
They were having 1,000 people protests every single day after Luka was traded. No, you cannot trade a 25-year-old for, let's face it, a broken down, totally washed 31-year-old Anthony Davis.
Greg Oden 2.0.
Yeah, Graham Cracker Bones Davis. No, Draymond. No one owes Nico Harrison an apology. People were right to criticize him then. People were right to criticize him now. He should never get a job as a general manager in the NBA ever again. You can't trust him. Don't forget what Nico Harrison said after it was like 2 weeks, 3 weeks of protests in the Dallas area simply because a basketball player had been traded, right? He actually did a press conference where he goes, I didn't realize how much Luka meant to the fan base. Bye-bye.
See ya.
See, that's when you have to go. When you're completely tone deaf and basically you're yet another general manager who loves the sound of his own voice and the smell of his own farts. And you have no understanding of what your fan base is looking for. You do need, if you're an owner, if you're a general manager, you do need to be aware of what your fan base is thinking and feeling about your product. Yeah, 100%. You need to be aware of that. Nico Harrison wasn't. Goodbye. Speaking of a guy who needs to go, Steve Tisch, the co-owner of the New York Football Giants. We literally are trying to turn the page here as a Giants fan. We got Harbaugh. Everyone's excited. Everyone's feeling positive about the New York Football Giants, about our future. Everyone's like, oh my God, we're making all the right changes. According to every source. And by the way, I want Joe Shane still fired. He's as dopey as Nico Harrison. I put Joe Shane in the exact same category as Nico Harrison. These are analytics, statistic-driven dopes who can't actually understand real talent nor the fan base. Joe Shane is every bit of as much of an airhead as Nico Harrison. He should be gone. But my consolation prize is apparently, according to multiple sources, John Harbaugh, the head coach, is now officially more powerful than Joe Shane. John Harbaugh is not going to be taking orders from Joe Shane. John Harbaugh is calling the shots on every single level, and Joe Shane just has to sign off on whatever John Harbaugh says. Well, I'm feeling positive about that. Except now, once we're feeling positive, more and more stories coming out about this co-owner, Steve Tisch, the guy who bought into the Giants in the 90s. The Giants really are owned by the Mara family. If you're a Giants fan, you consider the owners to be the Maras. They've owned it since like 1926, but somehow they let this Hollywood producer, Steve Tisch, buy his way into the team in the 90s. And this guy's now all over the Epstein files.
Uh-oh.
And as the Giants are having media days and Harbaugh has talked to the media and Joe Shane has talked to the media is asking them, well, what about Steve Tisch being in the Epstein files and all over the Epstein files? And they're like, we don't have any comment, but you can't run from those things. Look, the Maras need to force, or Roger Goodell, get off your ass and force Steve Tisch to sell his shares back to the Mara family and let the Maras control this football team once again, only by themselves, and not have the Tisch family involved, because this Steve Tisch is a dirtbag. I'm calling it as I sees it. I'm a Giants fan, but this Steve Tisch, we don't need you a part of it. You're in the Epstein files. You're doing God knows what. Get the hell out of here.
Amen.
Robert. What were you going to say?
What was the Clippers owner's name? I'm blanking on it now. Remember?
Donald Sterling.
Yeah, Donald Sterling. Used the N-word a couple of times. Told his gold-digging girlfriend don't hang out with them. And they forced him to sell his team. Now, are we saying using the N-word is worse than pedophilia on a grand scale? That's my question. Like, why is this guy allowed to stay? We got to get rid of him. The players revolted under him. Revolt under Tisch. Refuse to play until Tisch gets kicked out. This is ridiculous.
And the thing is, Tisch is just a guy who bought in and has never, like, even all these years. You've heard me do this show. Everyone chalks up the John Mara and the Mara family as the owners because they literally are the ones calling the shots. Steve Tisch just got there because he wanted to, own a football team. Probably. And at the time, it was like 1990, and at the time, the Maras needed money. So they allowed this Hollywood producer to buy into the team. He doesn't own the Giants more than the Maras. The Maras, I believe it's 50-50, but the Maras are looked at as the owners by the players because they're the family that's owned the Giants since 1926. Get Tisch out of here, please. It kills me. Now, baseball. The ABS system has been unveiled as spring training is here, and we're seeing spring training baseball games. The ABS system is the new robot system.
Okay.
Similar to how they do it in tennis courts. Like Wimbledon, if you watch Wimbledon and you see the guy serving the ball and they go, it was out. And the guy goes, no, it was in. I want to challenge it. And then they have this infrared system and it's 99.999% accurate, okay? So basically everyone agrees, including the players, okay, we'll live and die by that system. That's what baseball is doing now for balls and strikes. Well, all that's happening is exactly what I've explained. Pitching has gotten way too good in Major League Baseball. We know this because the guys who train to hit the ball, Major League Baseball players, their batting averages have gone into the toilet.
Whoa.
Last year, the Major League Baseball batting average, in other words, the average was, I think, 246, 247.
Okay.
That's the average. So these days, if you're hitting 277, you're hitting 30 points above the MLB average. In other words, you're a good hitter. Back in my day, you wouldn't even be in the discussion to be a good hitter unless you hit 300. Okay, guys who hit 290, you might say, hey, you know what? He's a pretty good hitter. He hits 290. Now it's like, whoa, this guy hits 278. This guy hits 280.
He's juiced.
This guy's a good hitter. So the point is, pitching has gotten so great that even the best baseball players in the world aren't seeing the ball as well as they were 30 years ago. The reason? You got 8 guys on a pitching staff between the starters and the bullpen that can throw 100 miles an hour with ungodly pitches, now hybrid pitches, the slurve, slider and curve, the knuckle curve, all this stuff. The splitter slider. I mean, they're combining pitches and they can throw 100 miles an hour. It's extremely difficult to hit a baseball. You think some fatso 55-year-old umpire is going to be able to see that pitch accurately? Of course not.
No.
So now you get – so the other day you had in the first 2 innings, both teams challenging something like 6 or 8 pitches.
Oh, wow.
And they got everyone right. Every challenge was right. In other words, in the first 2 innings, the umpire messed up the first, 6 or 8 balls and strikes calls in the first 2 innings. Now, I don't want to hear from someone going, well, the human element is always what's happened to You know what kind of people say that? People who aren't me, who don't watch it, watch 145 regular season games a year. If you sit down like the Dave Man does and watches 145 to 100, I'll give myself missing 17. But I'm watching 145 Yankee games, regular season, a year. It's unwatchable to constantly see bad call after bad call with balls and strikes. It's unwatchable. It's only the people who don't watch 140 games who go, well, the human element. I mean, that's, isn't that fun? My former radio partner, Carl Kraft, used to say that. And I would say to him, how many games do you watch? Well, I mean, I don't watch, I listen to the games.
Oh, Jesus.
Which was total bullshit. He wasn't doing that either. But he knew that I would catch him in a lie if I said, oh, did you watch the game last night, Carl? Well, I wasn't watching. I was listening. No, you weren't listening either. No, you weren't listening. You fucking liar. Fucking lying piece of shit.
I thought the only people who would say the human element matters was the umpires union, Dave.
These home plate umpires got to get over them. I mean, the umpires union, if you're preventing, basically here's my very simple request And I believe that Major League Baseball fans across the board, as we go into the season, are going to request this as well. The ABS system, that's what calls balls and strikes. They're saying that the umpires union doesn't want that because they feel like, that'll take a job away. It's not going to take a job away. No, you need a home plate umpire. There are so many important things that are home plate umpire calls balks. Home plate umpire, a guy bunts the ball, foul or fair, plays at the plate, right? Yeah. It's safe out, whatever. There's a lot to do for the home plate umpire. If I am the umpires union, I look at this as a godsend. The pressure's off. I don't have to worry about these ridiculous, Cam Schlittler or that Paul Skeens. It's 101, 102 miles an hour. And then the big looping curveball. How could anyone call these strikes consistently? I probably couldn't do it either. It's just common sense. Let the computer technology take over balls and strikes. We're not saying take over all of umpiring, just balls and strikes. But what's going to happen with this ABS system? They're going to live with this year.
Yeah.
By 2027, it will be ABS will be calling balls and strikes. That's my prediction, is this will be a transition year into, let's just use this thing. There's no reason not to be using it. Forget about the challenges. You don't need to have all these challenges.
Yeah.
They were just doing such a great job in the MLB with shortening the times of game. And that really was becoming a problem with baseball. People were always, the word on the street, boring and long.
Yes.
They lowered baseball in the past couple of years from an average of 3 hours and 3 minutes per game to 2 hours and 32 minutes per game. They reduced a half an hour. It's great. You can start a baseball game at 7 o'clock. At 9:30, the game's over. You're going out for your night on the town. You got all night.
That's a start.
But one thing that's now going to delay it is you get to challenge these balls and strikes until you get two wrong. So far, there have been teams that have challenged like 8, balls and strikes in a row, and they've got them all right. So now you're actually adding in more time with all the challenges. Just use the computer technology for the whole game.
Yes.
Okay, Roy.
That's it. Yeah.
You got an issue with that, Roy?
No, I'm looking forward to the day when they start replacing the players, too. That's when I'll really be watching, David.
Robert, what?
Now, we do live in a day and age where every team is doing anything they can to get a competitive edge, right? From doping to banging on trash cans. How long till we see a team getting caught trying to hack the ABS? Because it's one of those things where even a slight narrowing of that strike zone for your guys and a slight expanding it for another team would give you an extreme edge.
I can't imagine that's going to happen. And if it does, I would say, here's the punishment. You're gone. Your franchise literally does not exist anymore. You're out. If I'm the MLB, before I go to ABS, I say, hey guys, just so you know, if your organization is caught hacking this computer system, we will not have your team in Major League Baseball any longer. You're gone for life. Bye-bye.
Wow, can you imagine the sports league, the sports teams start like recruiting these like Indian kids for I don't know, some undisclosed job.
They've already got their video game portions of a lot of these franchises have like video game teams that they support that I would imagine have that particular set of skills. That's why I was curious. Like a lot of these ownership teams.
Well, it would be the death knell for an organization if you got some kid hacking and from MIT hacking the ABS system. You're gone. Your team is gone from existence.
You would think that players betting against their own team would be the death knell for the team, but that doesn't seem to stop. Doesn't seem to stop that from occurring either, David.
Well, I don't know. I mean, listen, if they find any gambling, you're in big trouble. Just ask Pete Rose, right? And he was gambling for his team to win.
Right.
But, you can't gamble. on baseball. That's it. You can't gamble. By the way, speaking of which, isn't it funny how that NBA gambling story is just totally gone?
Gone.
Yeah.
Wow.
Gone. Who predicted that a year ago?
Yeah. The Davey Mac Sports Program, baby.
That ESPN is so dirty and so crooked, they absolutely bury bad news when it doesn't help them. They are so partnered up with the NBA and WNBA, and that's why they shit all over baseball and hockey, because they're just, they're in cahoots with those sports organizations that anything bad that occurs, we got to bury this. Get this out of there. Finally, we discussed the U.S. men's hockey team winning gold and the U.S. women's hockey team winning gold. And somehow that got political, and that was annoying. Like, seriously annoying. I can't take it anymore. I just can't. Well, Jack Hughes got a hero's welcome back in Jersey. He said how proud he was to be American and to be in New Jersey, which I appreciated. Also said how proud he was, not just of the men's team, but of the women's team. And then later on in the week, this past Saturday, both the men's team and women's team had players on Saturday Night Live. And furthermore, to try to put this controversy to bed, Team USA women's player Abby Murphy says she thought the men getting criticized by people, she thought it was sad, quote unquote. She said they were the first people to support us when we won the gold medal. She also pointed out on that now infamous call from the president to Team USA, she heard multiple men chanting, go women and 2 for 2. 2 for 2. In other words, men's and women's team both won.
Yeah.
And that the men were cheering on the team women, and that she said the men's team couldn't have been more supportive towards the women's team, and that they both look at each other as equals and have each other's backs.
Wonderful.
And yet everyone else had to get offended. We live in such times where it's not good enough to be offended anymore. You have to be offended for other people. Right? Well, that offends me. Why does it offend you? Are you on the women's hockey team? No, but still, what they did to them, to those women is horrible. And then the women's hockey players are like, they didn't do anything to us. We feel completely supported by the men's team. They've been supportive the entire time throughout the Olympics. In fact, we roomed across the hall from one another. We were playing table tennis. We went out to the cafeteria. We ate lunch, and we had each other's backs throughout the entire Olympics, and we're close. So, no, actually, we're not offended.
Nobody gets that what you're doing by sticking up for them is going, those women are too weak that they can't speak up for themselves, so they need a hero like me to come in and save the day. Like, you're being more offensive by speaking up for them than the people who allegedly were being offensive.
I don't know, man. The world's on fire. I mean, we got all kinds of controversies where there just don't need to be controversies. And we have a mega riot at a torpedo gig where word is, I'm just getting a hand right here, 18 people dead. They're saying worse than the Who in Cincinnati in the mid-'80s. And I just don't know anymore. Now, hold on. New thing says, but Pearl Jam, New York, PJNY, Sean O, and Roy's Pearl Jam cover band will still be playing.
Good. Thank God.
But there's a potential for a riot where 35 people are going to die. Thank you for handing me those. That's my mom handing me these
breaking
news bulletins.
She's at the wire, ready to go.
Call it reading on the beat.
All right. That is it. We are going to take a break one of these Mondays. I'm just letting the audience know because I've been working a lot and I need a break. And I'm thinking maybe next Monday, but I haven't made up my mind.
Probably not next Monday.
Not next Monday.
I think we had something before the show we worked on that we probably shouldn't skip.
Okay, we are going to be on the air next Monday. And the following Monday after that is March 16th. And I always like to do a show right by St. Patrick's Day. So then maybe the 23rd or whatever.
Yeah.
Okay.
Sorry, I didn't mean to.
All right. No. That's fine. We're giving you a heads up right now. March 23rd, we might take a break.
That's nice.
All right. I'm burning the midnight oil. I'm pushing it at both ends. Dave Man needs a break. All right.
It's my birthday next week, David. I don't want to blow that one.
No, we're going to be on the air, sir. Okay, Robert reminded me. We have a very special surprise for you, sir.
Oh.
Oh, yeah. This ain't no BS.
That's what I was
we
like,
have a surprise for you, my friend. 4 years special.
Kumia's making an appearance?
Lie. You know what? It's not Anthony, but it is someone from Long Island who will be doing the Davey Mac Sports Program next Monday. At least that's what he said. I'm not going to plug him or promote him in case he bails out.
I cannot wait.
And then, if he does, I will dime him out next Monday. I will rat him out like the snitch that I am in order to make you feel bad on your birthday.
Thank you, David.
Because that's how evil I can be. Now, Roy, any plugs? When's the next torpedo? Hell's Angels? Rolling Stone.
After that last, after the Altamont incident, I am retiring from public performance, David.
I couldn't remember Altamont. I was like, what the hell is the name of that place again?
I got no gigs next week. It's my birthday weekend. My son is leaving to the Navy that day, so it's going to be more of a. I'm gonna be here with my family. Wait
a second. Your son is leaving for the Navy?
Yeah.
When? What? When?
Next week. Actually,
oh my God.
Yeah, next week. Exactly. Next weekend.
God bless you. Your son and your whole family.
Thank you, David. Thank you.
I mean it.
Thank you. I appreciate that.
He's already accomplished more with his life than me and Robert combined. Sorry to throw you in there, Robert, but I wasn't going to throw myself, only me, under the bus.
You didn't hear me object.
All right. Robert, what do you have there, sir?
Follow me on social media if you want to see my gigs. I'll be at the Racehorse Tavern Friday and the New Cumberland VFW Saturday with David Reed. So come check us out.
Awesome.
He does all kinds of fantastic stand-up comedy, folks. Get to know Bobby Tamburo before he's on Saturday Night Live.
I see his name working up the marquee. It's getting bigger and bigger.
Yeah, always. He's going to be.
That's all.
I give 2029 will be Robert hosts Saturday Night Live.
Oh boy.
Or he detonates himself and Daniel Bobo Curlin in the middle of Times Square. Can we agree to that, Robert?
I wouldn't. That's not a good betting man's game.
Come on, 2029. That's 3 years. I'm giving you 3 years.
I think we're going to need more than 3, but I'll get back to you after the show.
If you do get to host Saturday Night Live, I demand that you make Torpedo be the musical act.
I will push for that.
All right.
Well, and if Torpedo's the musical act, I demand that I bring some vocals to the Torpedo Band because I want to be on SNL too if everyone else is going to be.
Fair enough, David. Fair enough.
We'll negotiate, Dave. I'm thinking more like, how some bands have like the ska robot, the guy who just kind of puts a costume on and comes out and doesn't really like do music. You could be like Midnight Rider. The Midnight Rider and his torpedoes, and you just come out and you're lassoing and we got
like the guy who wasn't Dickie from Mighty Mighty Boss Tones.
Yeah.
The other guy who wore a suit who just seemed to dance.
Yeah.
That skipping thing that he did.
Skanking, I believe they call it.
Skanking, yeah.
But you bring an energy that just is unmatched to the table, and in the purest form is what we want there.
Listen, don't forget who won Battle of the Bands sophomore year of high school. Guys with ears, with such original songs as Bunsen. Cloud Boy, and Sunglasses at Night, not the Corey Hart version. This was a different original song that simply had the same title. I can bring 3 originals to Torpedo is all I'm saying.
That seems like a you and a band negotiation. So I'm going to just let you guys hash that out.
Folks, we will be back apparently next Monday.
Hopefully.
And the Monday after that. but the 23rd, we're more than likely going to take off. For Roy Harder, for Bobby Tamburo, my name is Eastside Dave McDonald. Good night, everybody.
Thank you.